Yes.
We're
Hello
here.
and
We're here.
welcome.
We're
Welcome to Nobody
here.
Asked,
We're
the
here.
show that nobody asked for, backed by popular demand and always exactly on time. No
Always. We're
one
here.
says otherwise. Frankly, we're early. Whenever I come in, they're like, "Oh, that was the time we said." So, this is the show. This is the show that we're on. Thank you for joining us, to the one viewer. And we don't have a ton of structure to this, do we? We just kind of want to do a week in review.
I did write some stuff down because I always forget what I want to talk about. So I did write some stuff down. It has been,
Hell yeah.
It's been kind of a busy week. In some ways, an overwhelming, beat you over the head with information week that you can't take it anymore. And you must go do other things. Go dance, go paint, go do something that's good for your soul. But I do want to just quickly bring up a couple of things that happened recently. This is not really part of the podcast. I just want to bring it up because it just happened within the last few hours. That I don't know if you're familiar with the superintendent of like the Oklahoma schools that's always trying to say Turning Point is now going to be in every single school. We must have the 10 Commandments up, just the more ridiculous it is. He definitely has said it. He got caught.
I am not familiar with his oeuvre. No, I've never heard of this person.
He also got caught playing porn, just in his office, just weird stuff like that. Well, he has resigned. Cool. Oh gosh, this guy's terrible. His name's Ryan Walters. He just resigned today, but he resigned to join, or I guess he helped create this thing called the Teachers Freedom Alliance. And it's kind of like a union of itself, but its own little special organization that is there to basically defeat the teachers' unions. So that's just a random thing that happened today. The other random thing that has happened, and I think that we'll end up probably talking about it next week because that's when the actual event is going to happen, is that Pete Hegseth, our great leader of the Department of War, he has called in all of the generals and admirals from around the globe to meet next week at Quantico, Virginia.
I'm sorry, American generals and admirals, or international generals?
Yeah, American ones, but the ones that are everywhere. He's called them all in to meet at Quantico next week for an unknown reason. The reasons could be, are we restructuring the military, in some way? Are we changing the policies in some dramatic way? Or are we about to go to war? So things to look forward to next week. And I just want to bring those things up as we, let's see, what did I put down as the title today? Is America turning a corner, or is this just a bump in the road on our journey to nowhere? So things to look forward to next week. Perhaps this is just a bump in the road. Podcast over. No,
it's pretty good. I haven't heard this thing about Mr. Pete. I've been pretty unplugged. I know the basics of what happened this last week. I know Jimmy Kimmel nonsense. I know.
Yeah, and we will talk about all that. We will talk about all that for sure. This is just a little bit more of
the escalator. I know about the escalator.
Oh, we can talk about the escalator. We can talk about
escalator's good.
We will largely be talking about that. This is more the backdrop of maybe there are some serious things going on. There was also an ICE shooting in Dallas where some gunmen just started opening fire. Some people are like, oh, well, obviously this guy was, a woke individual who's mad at ICE, because I think it was written on one of the bullets that he was anti-ICE. But he didn't.
Everyone's writing stuff on bullets, all right? What is going on?
It's so weird. It's so weird.
Luigi Mangione is, this is actually like social contagion at this point. Right? He's been a real trendsetter. This is like what Columbine was. Everyone started emulating.
Very possibly. But, people are like, oh, obviously he hates ICE. He's there to make some sort of, he's clearly a woke left-leaning person. I have no idea if that's true or not. I will say the only people that he ended up killing were detainees. So if that was his objective, it seems pretty stupid and ineffective.
Mission
failed. And then he also, he ended his own life, as part of the plot. So whatever. strange. Also,
when did this happen?
It happened earlier this week, but you're right. It has been so overshadowed by all of these, some would say less important things, but this is the world we live in, where this doesn't seem so bad. Also, like thousands of detainees, because they had to close Alligator Alcatraz in Florida, thousands of detainees unaccounted for, missing. You know, did they get shipped to Guatemala? I don't know. There's no records of what happened to them. Unknown. So things we should be talking about, but have no information really to talk about. What we do have a lot of information to talk about, of course, was this wonderful meeting in New York this week, where the UN met in their beautiful brand new facility that, you know, I don't know if you could pick up on this, but Donald Trump seems to be pretty displeased with this location. He did make a bid, you know, I don't know if they were updating the facility or if they were building, whatever it was. Trump did make a bid on it for $500 million, and he lost that bid. He was going to give them marble and mahogany. Now they're stuck with terrazzo and plastic and massive overruns, according to Donald Trump. So I like terrazzo personally.
I don't know what terrazzo is.
I mean, it's kind of concrete based, but it's pretty cool. Okay, so there was a large event at the UN. Everybody's meeting. Donald Trump arrives. He goes up the escalator. His wife is ahead of him. Melania's ahead of him, and the elevator abruptly stops. Most people, this would not derail their day. He didn't.
Most people wouldn't even notice that.
Yeah, nobody fell. In fact, you know, he's accusing this of being some grand conspiracy to have possibly injured his wife, but she's so fit that luckily she was fine. But it appears that the photographer that went up ahead of them and was backwards, you know, trying to get a good picture of them coming up the escalator, somehow, you know, triggered a safety mechanism by walking up backwards. Who knows? Maybe his shoelace got caught. Could have been any number of things. But this was a safety feature to keep people safe. But it made Trump, you know, he didn't enjoy it. He did not enjoy the escalator stopping, and then he had to climb up those stairs on his little feet all by himself on his bone spurs.
And do you think it was a plot, Mom?
I don't think it was a plot. I think it's funny to imagine it as a plot because it's hilarious because it's a big nothing plot, right? Ooh, I hit the emergency stop button. You know, like it's like, you know, middle school. It's nothing, but also it didn't happen, according to the UN. Then, you know, he gets up to give his speech. Normally, you're limited to 15 minutes for a speech. At the UN, he went on for over an hour, but one could argue that the reason he went on for over an hour is that his teleprompter was not working. And he went on about that quite a bit too. He was pretty mad. Somebody's gonna get fired. Somebody's in big trouble here for his teleprompter not working. And again, his people were responsible for the teleprompter. It was his. The teleprompter worked just fine. Whatever problems they were having could have been dealt with probably quickly, but weren't for whatever reason. But
his people were responsible for the teleprompter?
Yeah. But he's still blaming it on the UN.
How does that work?
I mean, I'm imagining his team has hooked up the laptop to it. They have all the cords plugged in right there. So if it's unplugged, it's like, well, go fucking plug back in. You're the ones that are operating it.
I mean,
so dramatic.
The UN has disputed who is responsible for the technical snafu. I don't even understand how that would work. I don't know. There is especially when you watch the escalator video, there is a part of me that is like, I mean, that seems intentional. That I think it's funny. I think it's like, and I do wonder if this is a roadmap to a more effective type of civil disobedience against Trump. I think it's sort of adorable, and it makes him seem like a weak little bitch boy. It's so funny.
Yes.
It's so good, and it's so shooting him in the ear clearly made him look like a strong man. Him being like, "What the hell? Now I have to do stairs," is so fucking lame. It's awesome, and it's like, and I would do this. This is the type of shit. I just know that I'm not the only person that's like me in this world, and you think there are people that just have to be silent around Trump at the UN, right? That this is a building populated 90% by people that hate Trump with a passion, but also love, democracy and all that. And so you have to do things for him, and you're like, I don't know, maybe I will fuck up my whole career over this. Like, let's just inconvenience him in a minor way, in a non-criminal minor way. I think that, dude, it just seems right that Barbie says there is no scar about the ear. Dude, he got shot in the ear. I know this is. I'm not doing this. He said that we're not Republicans. He got shot in the ear. It barely grazed him. I don't know if any of you guys have been cut. Not everything scars. This is like. It's just. Mom might agree with you, Barbie, but I don't agree.
I think he got hit with a piece of glass from the teleprompter. I do think he was shot at. I just don't think it was the bullet that got his ear. I think it was a piece of glass.
Why don't you think that? The guy that was killed behind him was in line with the shooter and Trump.
Oh, you know what? I guess I thought that
there are investigations over all of this. There is publicly available documentation. This teleprompter thing came so. There's a fucking picture by the New York Times of a bullet streaking by. And it's right by his ear.
But it was more than one bullet that was shot. So I mean,
it was more than one bullet that was shot.
Like
yes.
Okay.
But it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It's and also, who gives a fuck? Why does it matter?
You know what? I'm going to tell you why it matters. Because if he was really hit with a bullet, then it makes it all feel like a legitimate assassination attempt. And it doesn't feel like one.
It was if it was a teleprompter.
No, I mean, you're right. But simultaneously, the whole, listen, we talked about this before, and your explanation was sound, in that the fact that he is always aware of the cameras and, what image he's putting forth. So of course he's going to leap up in the air and throw his fist into the air. You talked about all of the things he did that I thought were irrational, and how it makes complete sense for Trump that that's what he would do. The whole thing was just, I think that's what it is. The whole situation was weird, and so it's just hard to believe, because everything he did was strange afterwards. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, I think we can all be on board with that. The ear bandage was unnecessary and theatrical, performative.
But I don't even think he wanted to put it on there. I feel like somebody made him do it, because they're like, "How are you going to prove that you were grazed by a bullet unless you put a bandage there?" You could tell, like he felt like that was, I'm too strong for this. That's the way I felt about it. So, it was like somebody talked him into it, and then he did it once, and then he's like, "No, I don't like this. This makes me look weak." But
I tell you what, with the Charlie Kirk shit, so when Trump got shot, there were all these things about how it was like 1 inch from the end of Trump's life. And with the Charlie Kirk shooting, it's like we were 1 inch away from 2 massive Republicans getting barely shot in the ear. I mean, it was that bullet was so close to barely missing. And then the Democrats would be like, "What is going on? Who are we paying for these fake bullet grazing assassination attempts?" Because we were 1 inch away from the left being complete conspiracy theorists about bullets. I mean, it would have been.
No doubt. But okay, so you said something just to get us back on track about the escalator. and how it made him look weak. And that's what I feel like this whole week has been about, and why I was like, have we turned a corner? Are people on both sides of the aisle starting to see that he's not the strong man he pretends to be? Is there a crack with some people? Listen, diehard MAGAs, there's nothing you can do because they don't stand for anything. They're not Republicans. They're MAGA people. They think he's their deity. So those people you can't influence. But the other people that are less, fully in the cult, I feel like we started to see cracks, and this escalator is just one example of him showing weakness. Some of the other stuff that he did this week, to me, that also would have done that. We've got him and RFK Jr. talking about Tylenol and autism. And I have to think that to most people, that sounded stupid. That Tylenol is the reason that we have got this uptick in autism diagnoses, when there's not enough evidence to make such a bold statement. And I think it made a lot of people mad on a number of levels. Certainly blaming women, blaming mothers. It was a real yuck fest. And the way that he kept saying Tylenol over and over again because he couldn't say the word acetaminophen. And the whole acetaminophen.
Yeah, I don't think you're saying it right.
Acetaminophen. I said it better than he did.
You're still wrong. It's acetaminophen.
Well, either way. But I mean, he couldn't say it. So he just said Tylenol over and over again. And then he said, you shouldn't take it. Not ever. You should never take it. Kids shouldn't take it. I mean, he just kept going on and on in his normal way, but it just sounded more ridiculous. And he also, they want to do, obviously they keep talking about adjusting vaccines right now and the timetables of when you should give them to children. And he went on a tangent about the hepatitis B vaccine. He said, Hep B is a sexually transmitted disease. So why are we giving it to babies? Well, because they come out of women's vaginas. So that's why. But he said that's for sexually transmitted diseases. So let's not give them to them until they're like 12. Which
is interesting, especially because there's a Republican congressperson that at the RFK deposition, there's a Republican congressperson that I think was the head of the subcommittee that broke a little bit with Trump because he's a doctor and he's a liver doctor, which has strong implications with hepatitis B. And he spoke in his closing remarks specifically about the hepatitis B vaccine as like RFK seems to be going against these low-hanging fruit of things that are easy to put together weird narratives. And he was worried about the hepatitis B vaccine being targeted. And not a week later, Trump is going on a tirade about hepatitis B. I have to imagine he was aware of the person in his party that was trying to draw a line there. And I wonder if he was trying to, show a little force against that guy.
I mean, it sounded like he was saying that children don't have sex until they're 12, so don't give them a Hep B vaccine. And it's just, is that what he really wants to be saying when he got this Epstein stuff looming over his head that he's actively trying to avoid aggressively? It didn't hit the ears well. Clearly, Marlene can't, isn't logged into. She's clearly watching us without being logged in or something, because she sent me, there's evidence of autism in bonobos. I'm sure that they are taking Tylenol left and right. So bonobos, being the primate, also have autism. That is, yes. I haven't heard that before. That's interesting.
I do. I think that speaking, like my impulse at any turning a corner, is this a turning point? Ooh, Charlie Kirk. And are conservatives getting on board? I'm always like, no, that they are currently lost. And if they're getting on board, we're going to hear. So it's going to take forever, right? So that no one of these stories is going to do anything. I mean, I've never believed more than now that thing that Trump said in his first election, which is like he could stand in Manhattan and shoot somebody in the face and his fans would still like him. That's still true. That being said,
that does feel true. That does feel true. They can rationalize anything.
I have been on the conservative subreddit for, really for years, just getting a sense of how people are thinking about things. And there is a term, like this story is one that the conservative subreddit would not have comments against.
Well, I don't even understand the story.
Okay. So towards the beginning of the Trump presidency, he started saying that every law that Biden signed into effect should be overturned because Joe Biden used something called AutoPen,
right.
which is a tool. So Trump, ever the guy that is trying to like do anything to distract from a story that he doesn't like, recently replaced Joe Biden's portrait with a photo of AutoPen signing.
Oh, okay. I wasn't understanding what this description was. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is a picture of the AutoPen.
Yeah, in the portraits of presidents, he's replaced Joe Biden with an AutoPen thing, which is just childish and absurd.
Well, it is, but it isn't even signing Joe Biden.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is?
It says, yeah, it's Joseph R. It says R. Biden Joseph.
R. Okay, R. Okay.
So the comment section looked different just a few hours ago. The problem with the conservative subreddit is that as pro free speech they are, and as much as they say that they love being conservatives because they're the ones that will actually genuinely participate in debate, they delete comments like nobody's business. They block users. And when a post gets large enough, they will go through all of the top comments and then search for anything that identifies somebody as not conservative in any way, and then just take the comments off. So you'll see there's a bunch of deleted comments in here. And here are the two top comments that have made it through the screen up to the point of this podcast. Top one says, if the next president did something like this, say a photo of Trump and Epstein, I think there would be some people upset over a loss of decorum. And I hate Biden, but I find this, okay, it really makes me laugh, but it's beneath the decorum of the White House should have. Fuck Joe Biden and his puppet masters. Damn, this is funny, but come on, stay classy, San Diego. It's just a little bit of a change in vibe on the conservative subreddit. So people are... Is 911 back up?
I think so. So weird. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm starting to see things like that where, well, that's a very interesting one that they're like, oh, pictures. So Epstein, for some people, they're going to be able to shove that stuff aside, and for other people, they can't. But saying that that's a loss of decorum is interesting. It's interesting because, listen, to me, Trump has zero decor. It doesn't matter how gilded he makes everything, how much marble and gold he uses. He has no decorum. He is a low-class individual. So the fact that the Republican subreddit is letting that through is interesting. I think when we talk about what happened with Jimmy Kimmel, we see some interesting shifts as well. We see people like Ted Cruz saying, this is too far. The government should not be telling people what they can and can't say. And so, Disney pulled, this is interesting too, right? So we have Disney and ABC and, Hulu, we have this whole collective that they pulled Jimmy Kimmel, and then everybody starts they start canceling their Hulu and their Disney subscriptions, right? And apparently this actually ended up costing Disney like $4 or $5 billion, which to me is a lot. I'm actually startled because it feels like when we do stuff like this, listen, I'm a big fan of this type of cancel culture where it's like, I'm not going to put my money into something that I think is doing something dangerous. And so I'm all about it. I'm all about it. And you were saying last week that some of your friends feel like this stuff isn't doing anything. These types of protests aren't getting anywhere. And then you see Disney cave and let Kimmel back on the air. Now Sinclair and Nexstar did not, but they're another problem. But the big conglomerate, Disney did. They said he's back on, and then I don't know if you saw any of the stuff that Kimmel said afterwards, but he basically broke into tears, talking about the whole thing, talking about Charlie Kirk's wife, and that all of that stuff. And I guess it was nice. I don't know. I didn't watch Jimmy Kimmel to begin with, but it didn't matter. That's the whole point. You don't have to watch Jimmy Kimmel to object to the president and the FCC going after somebody for free speech. You don't have to be somebody that watches it to say this is a dangerous, slippery slope. We rely on comedians. Yeah, comedians are taking the temperature of the world that we're in. They are the canary in the coal mine, or however you want to say it. So, we do need people to stand up for that stuff. So, I find that interesting when you see right-wing people who, if you are a legitimate Republican, and those are the types of things you've always cared about, to see some of them just let that slip aside if it's owning the libs, that they're going to let their freedom slip away because they think it's not going to affect them. And to see some of them remembering what they actually stand for, and it is something.
Yeah, some of them. I mean, the thing that I was disappointed with is the seeing the two sides flip and no recognition of irony on either side. Now, the difference for the left on this one is that the government is actively pushing the takedown. This is government endorsed cancel culture rather than like community endorsed cancel culture or boycott or protest. And then seeing conservatives say this isn't censorship, this is consequences. And you're like, that's what the left was saying about cancel culture. You're just using the same argument. How do you not see this? Like, if you're anti-cancel culture, which is that's a defensible position, then how do you not see the irony of being on board with this? Especially in Kimmel's case, it's like that they didn't even pick a particularly egregious case.
No.
It's just that Trump got Colbert off, and Kimmel was the next one that he wanted. And so they sort of picked it at a bad time. Kimmel was pretty measured. He definitely towed the liberal line on. He was accusing the Republicans of trying to say that the Charlie Kirk shooter was far left, and then ironically engaged in the opposite thing where he was sort of implying that he was a right person when at the time we didn't really know. But he didn't really say anything denigrating about Charlie Kirk, which he should have been able to.
He
so it
didn't
just
at
wasn't
all.
a very good choice. Yeah.
No.
It wasn't a very good choice of who to do. Now, I wish that there was a more spread out action surrounding this. I wish that the liberals were as effective as the conservatives at creating a list of organizations we should be boycotting, because we should also be boycotting the Washington Post regarding this. There are some sports channels, although I imagine most liberals are already not subscribed to the sports channels. So there are some other avenues that could be taken for boycott, but it was exciting to see Disney cave on it. I think that this is a little bit of our Bud Light moment. The conservatives boycotted Bud Light and really tanked its sales, and we're able to get real change at Bud Light. Not that the thing that they were boycotting was really that significant.
It was a nothing burger.
And I feel like that it was a total nothing burger, but that empowered the right a lot to see a success case. And I think that it was a good instance of the Republicans overreaching, not choosing a particularly good candidate to exert their powers over and they do the best when they're doing something that is democratically and morally wrong that has like a seemingly okay argument behind it. Like, so the Democrats are in the position of defending democracy and like the ways that structures should work, and that does not seem to work for people. But this here was it was just such a bad target, and it's Disney, and liberals like Disney, and so we had a lot more power to take money away. In the same by that same token, Republicans like Bud Light, and so they had a lot of power to take that away. I mean, liberals like craft beer, and there's just no way to.
No, I think that's a valid point, right? Because like you see something like was it Aeropostale? I can't remember, whatever the stupid jeans commercial was, where this says, "I've got good genes," and people are like, "Ooh, this feels very eugenics coded." That happened like a few weeks ago.
That was fucking ridiculous. Yeah.
Or American Eagle. I don't remember who it was. But it's somewhere that I'm never going to buy jeans to begin with. Do you know what I mean? But suddenly all of these
you would not actually boycott it because of that fucking ad, would you?
Oh, I wouldn't.
How are you buying into the eugenics thing?
No. I'm saying, I wasn't saying any of that. I'm saying,
okay.
I'm saying
Radon.
That those weren't jeans I was going to buy to begin with. So it wasn't like I was going to pull my support for them because I had nothing to pull. I don't shop there. But suddenly people that didn't shop there that are on the right were suddenly inundated, American Eagle or whoever it was, and buying their stuff. And so suddenly they had a little bump in sales, and you're like, well, that's interesting. But when you look at Bud Light, you are not going to get people to just start buying Bud Light, that didn't buy it previously, because it's not that kind of a product. You either like it or you don't like it already. And it doesn't, it's definitely, it's a cheaper beer. It's a low end beer. So it's gonna. I
will say I did buy it more often. I did buy it more often after the boycott, because I was like, I am counter boycotting this, but it's just not that enjoyable. So, that my crusade ended quickly. It was like the children's crusade.
Yeah. Let's see what else happened this week. Okay, so another thing that happens with Trump, that okay, let's go back to the UN. There was one more UN related thing that happened that was kind of funny. Okay, so there was a statue that was kind of put outside, kind of across the street, I think from the UN building, that had it was a statue of Trump and a statue of Epstein, and they were holding hands, and it was like to celebrate Friendship Month or whatever. And it was just, that looked like they were skipping through the flowers. And it was out there, and I guess they had gotten their permits for it. So it was meant to be there for like the whole week. But apparently on the permits, the statue was bigger than what the permit allowed. So it has now been pulled. But it was out there, I think, yesterday, day before. Yeah, on the National Mall. Mm-hmm. Oh, is that where it was, the National Mall? Okay. And it's just, that's just funny. It's just funny that they used the language of that birthday card, about our little secret.
Was that? Do we know what organization did this?
I did not write it down, but I do think that they do know what organization did it. Yeah.
Is it? Because is it in decline?
I don't know. I thought it was something friendship related. So maybe they just made up an organization just for this event.
I mean, it's so impressive. It's like, it's incredibly well done, and yeah, just another little slap in the face. I think we just need more of these slaps in the face.
And it's so silly. It's silly, but also some of the people that voted for Trump are silly people, right? They are in it. They like the memes. They like the jokes. They love the stupid shit. And to me, this was the kind of stupid that reaches those kind of people, because it does make it first of all, it keeps the Epstein stuff in their faces, in Trump's face. And secondly, it makes Trump look silly. Who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love it? It's just another small thing to weaken Trump support amongst a certain demographic, to me. all of the bros that listen to Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn, those guys they're unserious people. And if you speak to you show them something like that, they're going to think it's hilarious. So I like that. But on the topic of Epstein, there is a new congresswoman from Arizona. Her father used to fill the seat. He died. So there's been a vacant seat, and she just got elected. And she has outright said that she will be the 218th person to sign on, so that the Epstein, so that the idea of releasing the Epstein's file can be forced to be brought to the floor, because we've got Mike Johnson actively keeping it from being brought to the floor to be voted on. So she said she will sign it, but there's some indication that Mike Johnson is slow rolling, actually getting her sworn in.
She shouldn't have said it so early. Yeah.
Well,
she should have kept the cards close to her vest.
Maybe, but also sometimes saying it out loud and making somebody else show their hands has meaning as well. So
yeah, you're right. Yeah, well, that'll be interesting. I just think it's never going to come out, or it's going to be redacted to hell. And
I mean, everything that has come out is redacted, and then they redact it more, and you're like, well, we saw the old version that had some of this stuff not redacted, so you went through and redacted it more. What are you guys doing? And so in that way, having these people obsessed with these conspiracies and having looked through this stuff to the level that they have is an advantage, because they know what they're looking at, and they know that it's all a lie. And to me, I wish that this wasn't the kind of stuff that we all collectively agreed to is too far. I mean, it is too far. It very clearly is. But this all happened before Trump became president, so it should have been too far before he even made it through the door. But because I'm so like, we must preserve democracy, all of this other stuff feels silly. But simultaneously, it's like I still think it's important. It is important. If he shouldn't be where he's at, he shouldn't be. If you want to drain a swamp, if you think that there's all of this cabal of terrible people that run everything, I can't disagree with you at the moment. I can't. But why did you guys think that letting this guy into office was going to solve that? He's so much worse.
He's definitely worse. I mean, I think that his superpower is just like a complete lack of inhibition. Like everyone already hated politicians, and the fact that they don't say what they think and whatnot. And then whenever Trump fucks up and whenever Trump says something crazy, it just adds, it's just another little piece of he's not saying what a politician would say. And I love that. I love that this isn't a politician. I love that it's a real guy. And, it's just like, there's a lot of real guys.
He's saying what we all want to hear. I'm like, he's not saying anything I want to hear. He's not. I'm just concerned that this is what you guys want to hear. Let's see. What other dumb thing happened this week? The rapture didn't happen.
Yeah. I had money on it too.
I remember during Y2K when they thought all of the computers were all going to fail, that there was much rapture talk then as well. But it's been a little while since I've heard this level of rapture talk. And I'm wondering.
2012 too.
Oh, was it? I don't know if I remember what surrounded it then.
2012 was the Mayan calendar ending.
Oh, okay.
They made a big movie about it.
So not a political reason. It was strictly about the Mayan calendar. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, it feels like the politics of the moment are what has brought it up. I don't know why Charlie Kirk would be what would make people think that, but it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, I think that don't rapture predictions gain a lot of public steam just when there's a general sense of uncertainty in a place. So, this was from a podcast of a pastor in Africa. This was such a reach for a rapture prediction. There's 20 rapture predictions a year. and this is that it just felt like, so much like it was interesting. It happened on Jewish New Year's, which felt
Oh,
like okay, but maybe that's an element. Is that Rosh Hashanah, something like that? Um,
I don't think so.
but yesterday was Jewish New Year's. Um, so I don't know, maybe that was an element, but no rapture,
No
alas.
rapture. No rapture. It's just the timing was weird for me. Because listen, I'm down to talk about some rapture talk. I really am. Because I think that I think Mike Johnson is trying to bring about it. Oh yeah, Vinny says it is Rosh Hashanah. Okay.
Nice.
I think Mike Johnson is trying to bring around end times. I think that RFK Jr. is one of the horsemen of the apocalypse. I think that Trump is the Antichrist, right? But so do those things show up before or after the rapture? Because man, I haven't read the Bible in quite a while. So it's like I don't have the rapture fully implanted in my brain in that way about what the order of things are. I just feel like we've either long passed it. First of all, I think we've long passed it. I think if it happened, it happened
I'm
back.
pretty sure there isn't a rapture in the Bible.
No, there's something where these souls get brought up to heaven or whatever. But I swear they're taking them out, half of the dead ones out of the ground. You know what I mean? It was like souls of people that were already dead. I mean, it was a real weird part of the Bible where I was like, I don't know what's going on here. Somebody had too much fungus on their rye seeds and they're now hallucinating some weird stuff. But
All right, here's what I have on reference to the rapture in the Bible. Okay. In 1 Thessalonians 4:16 through 17, it describes a moment believers are caught up to meet the Lord in the air after the Lord descends from heaven. Other related passages include 1 Corinthians, which details the transformation of believers, and Matthew 24:40 through 41, which speaks of one being taken and the other left. These passages form the basis of the theological concept of the rapture, which holds that Christ will return to gather his church. But it's not super specific.
Yeah. There's no
as specific. The Bible is not.
Exactly. Just like the mentioning of, the horsemen of the apocalypse, if you will. They're like a couple of sentences for each one. It's not like a big long thing. And then you got some weird multi-headed angel, a seraphim or whatever, the ones that got the weird heads and the 4 wings and extra arms and stuff. You're like, what the hell is that thing?
Man, I was. This is such an aside, but I don't even know what I want to talk about, so I'm just going to start talking. I watched a summary of the Book of Mormon, not the musical, but the book. Dude, this is like the most boring text I've ever heard. I can't believe that this was and poorly written. Where you're like, I can't believe that this worked. I can't believe that this made a whole religion.
Listen, Joseph Smith had to put on his magical hat he was over there in the field with his magical hat on, trying to translate those tablets, those rocks or whatever the heck they were. It's hard
Seems
work.
like it was hard work because it was. There's a lot of. Oh, thank you. There's a lot of just a lot of weird phrasing, and then the whole thing is that the Nephites. It's like the war between the Nephites and the other one, and it's like it's not a whole lot of other information, and it's just boring, and it's like a lot of like, and then she went into the home, and then she was received by the home, and she sat in the chair, and the chair received her, and both the chair and the seat and the woman were in the same place. And she spoke unto him, and he heard her words. And you're like, what was the word count requirement on this book? I mean, it's like, I can't believe a religion. I know I'm looking very Jesus-y today, but I can't believe a religion was formed around this.
I mean, man. There's a lot of weird stuff. I mean, listen, we know that we know it's a cult. We know it's a cult. The fact that we have family members in it that are perfectly normal, well, mostly normal people.
Mostly normal, I think, is fair.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a cult. It's a cult. It's a cult.
I mean, so is being Pentecostal or evangelical, What is a cult
they
but
can
just
be.
a more strange religion, you know?
I do follow a woman that talks about cults. She's written a couple of books on it. She talks about the military being a cult as well. And you can get there because she gives you the rules of cult, and you're like, okay, I can see how you get there. But one of the big tenets of a cult is has to do with exploiting the members' late labor. And that's one thing that the Mormon Church does exquisitely is.
I've got something to say about that. Sorry, you finish your
yeah, they're very good at getting you to do things for free. Even going on your mission, you pay for your own mission, you know, to go spread the word of Joseph Smith.
Okay, here's what I had to say.
Yeah.
Ezra Klein had Spencer Cox on his podcast to talk about Spencer Cox's desire to desire. He desires us to disagree better, which is good for him. But he hit a line in it, and I feel like people from Utah would hear this line the way that I heard it. But it's such a good line for an international audience, which is like, he didn't want the shooter to be from Utah because he just believes that Utahns are so great. And he hits the point. Utahns have the most charitable giving per capita of any state. And I went, oh, fuck, you nerd. You're talking about people giving to the Mormon Church because everyone tithes 10% or whatever of their salary. And it's basically mandatory. And
it is.
I'm like,
believe me, keep track. They keep track. If you didn't give 10% and then later on you're in need and you're like, oh, my husband left me and I can't feed my children, and they'll go look through the rolls. You didn't give your 10%. Good luck getting us to help you. I mean,
yeah. It's and then the governor's like, we're the most charitably giving. I'm like, that's not what you're most of your state's in a cult. They're all
you're giving to yourself.
I bet if Jonestown was a state, they had the most charitable giving per capita, but it wasn't really an asset to them, was it? So it was just yeah. Oh man, those Mormons is a cult defined is a cult really defined by the way that individuals practice it, or is it defined by the desires and teachings of the religion itself? Because if it's the latter, then I think a lot of things are cults that we don't conventionally think of as cults.
Well, she talks about she talks a lot about AA being a cult as well. So I think I don't. That was just one of the tenets that I actually remember because it's the one that sells it for a lot of things that you're like, oh, okay, now I see how this one's a cult and this one isn't a cult. And but I think it has to do with how you practice it for sure. It has to be. It has to be. You can't just be believing weird shit.
Academia is a cult.
I mean, I would say not generally, but I'm sure it could be.
I just think the power structures and the way of signaling your virtue to the hierarchy, and then the ceremony where you have to bathe in cow's blood. All of those things are like.
You just threw that in there.
Just setting up a joke. Yeah. Oh, man.
Terrible.
Do you want to play Time Guesser? I've got nothing. My brain is fried.
I want to see if I had anything else that I wanted to mention.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing I had left was just noticing that Donald Trump flipped on his feelings about Ukraine. He seems to be pretty mad.
What's going on with that?
Yeah, he seems to be pretty irritated with Russia. Russia's been doing a lot of weird stuff. They've been kind of encroaching on the airspace, sometimes with drones, sometimes with other things of like Finland, Norway, and Poland, and also Alaska. So they're all up in our business now too. And so Trump was saying that, basically Ukraine was going to have to give up some of its land in order to get this war to end. Like, that's just going to be the way it is. You're just going to have to give something up. And obviously Ukraine didn't agree to those terms. No terms were met. And now Trump is at a point where he says, no, they don't have to give anything back. They should be allowed to have the entirety of what was taken. And there's some indication that he might be down to start giving aid in the form of weapons to Ukraine, through the UN, even though he's pretty mad at the UN and has really, we give a lot less to the UN than we have previously. It seems like around Ukraine, he might be flipping on it. Now that's what's today. Who knows what tomorrow is? Yeah. He might change his mind again, but it feels like something actually got through to him. He finally connected some dots.
Wasn't he talking about how that meeting in Alaska, he said something about he expected it to be easy and like he's got this relationship with Putin. And then he said something like, but I guess that those relationships don't matter to some people. And I was like, I think Putin really hurt his feelings.
He did. Think that, yeah, especially then when he's, Putin's over there hanging out with the leader of India and,
Modi.
What was it? Yeah, Modi and one of the Koreas and somebody in China. He's hanging out with all these other people that Trump, respects because they're strong men. And then, he's like, his feelings are hurt because he thinks that he could get through to Putin. And Putin's like smarter. Let's be real. Putin is smarter. He understands the game. Yeah. He knows what game is being played. He's the one that's playing it. Trump doesn't even know there's a game.
And he knows Trump's an idiot. Like, that's why he's wanted him elected twice. It's just that he knows Trump's an idiot. He's a fake strongman. I think that Trump, we've been talking too much about Hitler, and I think that Putin might be the Hitler, and I think that Trump is the Mussolini, where like Mussolini was kind of a joke to Hitler, and Hitler stole some things from Mussolini, like fascism itself came from Italy and Mussolini. But then when Hitler would invite Mussolini to meet, like he would talk to his generals about what a fool Mussolini was. I'm like, I think that might be what we're, it's new. It's a new situation. There's new intricacies, but I think we might have the Mussolini, which is worse for us because the Germans hate Hitler now, for the most part, but the Italians, they cannot get rid of Mussolini. They love that guy, and it's weird.
And I feel like that's the way it will be with Trump as well, regardless of what happens. Yeah. So like, if we do end up in a war situation, we've got Pete, again, I told you at the beginning, Pete Hegseth at this meeting with all of his generals next week. And we don't know what it's about. But if it is about us actually having a bigger part in what's going on in Ukraine or anywhere else, I think
it's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad. And it will be a distraction.
And I just got bone spurs too. Like it just happened. And so that's a real shame. But
as
did Owen.
Oh, let's hope. It'll be a distraction from some of these other important things that are happening, but it will also, wars have a way of coalescing everybody in a little bit of a patriotic way behind their leader if we are fighting something bigger than amongst ourselves. And so will that be the result, is that Trump becomes our Mussolini and people will still love him even though he's an idiot? I mean, I think the answer is yes. There will be some people that will always love him.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what war we could go to that would seem that you could pitch people on. Like, but I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how it works out. It'll be fun. We got so much opportunity in front of us for
so much opportunity.
All shake out.
As long as we don't attack Canada or Greenland,
I'm glad we haven't been talking about that as much lately, man. That was like, there was a moment there where I was like, are we gonna do this? That is ridiculous.
It pops up every once in a while. Every once in a while, it sprinkles back in, and you're like, why are you bringing this up again?
Yeah. Instead, let's just get into a war with a nuclear superpower. No way that can go wrong. Especially with Donald Trump with his hand above the button.
Let's keep starting stuff with Venezuela. Let's keep just randomly shooting boats in international water because that's a thing apparently we do. I don't know, man.
There's so much shit going on.
Let's keep Canada safe. Time guesser. Let's see. I gotta make my screen bigger so I can see this.
All right, guys. I think that we're in Anchorage.
Welcome, Ike. Okay. Oh, I think we are in Anchorage.
Is that Eisenhower?
That is Eisenhower. When was Eisenhower?
So
Shoot. Eisenhower.
Eisenhower was the post-war president, right?
He might be. He got me thinking about it really hard because I'm like, okay, Truman dropped the bombs. Yeah, so then maybe it was Eisenhower, maybe.
Then Eisenhower. Okay,
but this is black and white.
Anchorage, Alaska, black and white. I mean, I think that would be like. Wait, all right. I should be able to figure out units of 4.
I'm gonna have to
48.
I know. I don't like cheating. I don't like looking stuff up. Just like guessing.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, Anchorage. I mean, this is presumably like Main Street.
Sure looks like it.
Look at these guys with 2 airports. Cool guys. Downtown. Okay, let's see. Cross Street. I mean, yeah, it feels like it's going to be. It's going to be like right here. Okay. And then 52 or 48.
It's definitely not. Yeah, let's just put. Let's put 52. Yeah.
60.
60. Okay.
Pretty close, though.
Yep, I'll take it. Oh, somebody's doing math.
Korean.
Well, the whole map is that Korea?
That's Korea. Yeah, that's Korea.
Okay.
Yeah. They're doing some long division.
We're wearing pants. I don't know if that means anything.
I mean, it's probably also the 60s. I mean, I think it's probably North Korea, but I don't really know what things would look like in Korea in the 60s.
I don't either.
So let's say Pyongyang. What do you think? 62, 58, 65?
When was the Korean War? I mean, I'm not saying this is a wartime picture at all. I
have no idea when the Korean War was.
Let's just 62, because I literally no idea. It's a good enough guess.
69. And it was in South Korea.
Explains long division during a math class for a primary school in Gunpao, South Korea during the late 60s. Okay.
All right. That was fine. Otto Mater.
Are we in Germany?
Roman Schandel. It feels like Germany or Austria, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, we got some interesting combined letters, though.
Well, or that sign is rounded, so we can't see it all.
Yeah, but we even have the Heinzler here.
Oh, I see.
That with the A and the E combined.
All right, let's see what this lady's wearing. Oh, what's this? 1957. Let's go with that.
1907 through 1957.
The 50-year jubilee of something.
Okay, so 1957.
Feigen. Where's Dansk? Is that German? That sounds like German.
Is it German? I mean, yeah, it does. I mean, it feels like everything's telling us Germany, but it just.
Let's go 1957 though, because why else would you have that poster up?
But yeah, we have so many of these AEs combined, and that's not.
That's not German.
That's not a thing in German, right? A and E being combined into one letter. Ellie's here. Dansk. Yeah. It's right here.
No, I've never seen that before.
Okay, I have another. And we've got the O's with the crosses in them. Dude, this is like Norway or something.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds. I'm down. Let's see. Bergen, Uber Bloober.
Larvik.
Trebek.
Stockholm. Okay, that a lot of O's with umlauts in Sweden. We've got L's with crosses in Poland. What about Czechia? No, they've got a bunch of the little carrots. Budapest. Well, I mean, I feel like I should know where Dansk is.
I do too, and yet it's not coming to me at all.
No.
Munich.
Switzerland. I mean, that I haven't seen a single umlaut. What the hell? I mean, it's definitely like a Germanic language. So you think Austria? You think
Barbie's guessing Denmark. Did we already check Denmark?
Denmark is a good idea. Oh, I think I just saw. Yeah, Sunderberg with the O with the cross. Okay. Now we're cooking with gas. Any Dansk around here? Alberg. There's got to be. Like, is that really the name of the place?
Dansk Faggot Fubert. Idrehausen. Finland. That says Finland, Denmark, something. England.
This is in England, Denmark. Yeah, so it's like a touring thing. It just feels like something would have a city name in it. Tobak.
Colonial.
Ensrettet. All right, we're gonna end up just choosing a big city because.
I mean, it does look like a city. I guess it doesn't have to be a big one.
Copenhagen.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, why not? Oh, dude.
What just happened? Where'd you go? Lost you. Oh no. Colin has disappeared. Let me message him really quick. Oh, he's calling me. Hello? Wait, I got my headphones on. Your computer died? Okay. We'll never know. Yeah, unless you just tell us. How did we do? We don't know. All right. Well, something happened. Who knows? It seemed like we were near something. Maybe we got the year right. I do know that. Oh, so it was Copenhagen. Okay, so we got that right. It was Copenhagen, and it was the year, but who knows, because we didn't get the next clue. Okay, well, I'm going to end the stream then because it's still going. All right, well, thanks everybody for keeping us company. See you next week. And